Hey everybody, this is Jeff, Swing Trade Warrior with WarriorTrading.com with our weekly closed trade video recap. Going to go over some of the trades this week and talk about how they played out for us and kind of what we're looking at going into next week. Very happy with some of the swings we opened last week but closed out this week. We're going to talk about a few of those: Coach, Commvault Systems, Celgene Corp, Fleer, and we'll also talk about a couple of new positions we're in as well. Having said that, if you don't know who we are a day trading and swing trading community. We have hundreds of members who are with us every day, both full-time and a lot of part-time traders. We offer education. Our primary focus is trading the strategies that we teach. So we try and make it a place that everybody can learn from, and we can all kind of profit and get a handle on things together. And so far we've been very successful in doing that. You can check us out for a 7-day free trial at WarriorTrading.com/register. And if you have any questions about swing trades or anything market related in general, or anything you see in this video, give me a shout at Jeff@SwingTradeWarrior.com. I'll put all my contact info down in the description of this video. Having said that, the first trade I want to talk about was our swing trade on Coach. I've talked about it mid-trade, and I went over it a little bit on Ticker TV this week as well. But we finally closed this position out earlier in the week, and it ended up being about a $1,000 winner for us. We got long on this trade at 42.26. I ended up not getting to double on this trade. Normally when I enter a trade, I take half size so I can manage my risk and I can give the trade more room to confirm a direction. And so I only want to be half size on my losers, but I want to be full size in my winners. So I scale into the strength. Once the move is in our direction, I double my size and adjust my stop. My profit target on this trade was ranged to about $44. You can see we didn't quite make it to $44. We got as high as $43.87. So because I didn't get to double my position, I set my order for over $43 to double, and instead of using a good to cancel order, I used a date order, and it expired at the end of the day. And I never got filled the next day, and I didn't want to chase it, so I just trailed my stop on my half size using the previous day low as a stop, and we ended up making it to right about here. I stopped out at 43.15, so it was just about a 2-point win over 4 days. We ended up 5 days. We ended up catching a price target upgrade on Coach midway through the trade, which really helped give us a nice boost over the few days we were in the trade. The thing about trading strong stocks is that we put ourselves in a position of advantage to catch things like upgrades, and other types of good catalysts. So when we're trading these breakout strategies with a catalyst, we always start with a solid fundamental catalyst. In this case, we were coming off of earnings back here at the end of January. It was putting in a nice solid trend, and we saw on the chart this area over 40. Really, it was over $41 that I wanted to get in. Waited for it to consolidate, and it flagged out here, and we ended up catching it after it broke the top of that flag at just over 42, like I said. So overall, very clean trade, very happy with it. A little disappointed I only got half size in it, but that was my bad. And nobody's perfect. Things like that do happen from time to time. Another trade we were in was Commvault Systems. We were in this one for a while, again coming off of earnings back at the end of January. It put in a nice base, just over $43 here, and the high of the flag was really $45.40. So as we started, as we were trading sideways here, we got long on this trade at $45.10. Right about here. So we got long at $45.10 on the break of the 20 moving average back here on February 19th. Over the next couple days, we couldn't break the 20 moving average, but we were consolidating or flagging inside of the bull flag here, bouncing up off this 20 moving average. Fourth day in the trade here, it looks like we caught the break of the 20 moving average. And after that, we moved up to the 50 moving average, blasted through that, and then the 50 moving average became support. And we ended up cruising, and we squeezed all the way to $49.50. My price target on this was originally this $48 level, but we ended up getting about $49.50. I scaled out on the move once we hit the price target. Ended up realizing a little over 2 points on this trade, about 2.2 points after I had scaled out. It was about a $2,300 winner over the course of a few days. Another example of trading a strong stock with a good technical setup put us in a position of advantage, and we hit the squeeze here over a few days and we locked up a nice quick winner. One of the indicators that I use to kind of help me determine what we might see going forward as far as ability to move with ease through certain price levels is the TAS market profile indicators. The two that I use for swing trading primarily are the TAS boxes, these red and green and blue lines. They indicate support and resistance levels as seen by institutional traders. It's based on historical price action and volume. It's a proprietary formula they use to determine these levels. But basically the gist of it is the huge number of institutional traders that are using TAS indicators are looking at these boxes here, and they're seeing long entry and short opportunities over support and resistance levels, and it kind of gives us an idea where big money's looking, and we want to be in trades in front of big money whenever we can, because we know big money can move the market. The other indicator that I really like here is this market map. It's the sideways looking bar graph thing. This indicates and measures volume at each price level. So as you see, this yellow line is the biggest on this particular market map for this time frame. This yellow line measures the area of contention. So what that means is at this price, at the $44.44 level, there is the most volume traded between longs and shorts, buying and selling volume at this price than any of the other surrounding prices. And you can see where the volume bars start to get lighter. There's less competition between buying and selling volume. We call these areas squeeze zones. Well, this market map has been here for quite a while, since back in January. And if you look, once we hit this price area between 46 and 45.50, there's almost no contention between buyers and sellers. Sure enough, once we hit that over here come February, we had a nice clean candle over candle continuation, a big squeeze over about 4 or 5 days there. Conversely, to the downside, if you look back here in late January, the price action also came right through this squeeze zone that I'm talking about down here, because there's just no competition between buyers and sellers. So whoever's in control, you're going to find much smoother price action through those levels. So we saw it to the downside here, and we played it to the long side up here, and we got exactly what we're looking for. If you look at the yellow line, it tells us this is going to be a contention level where the buyers and sellers are going to struggle for control. Look at the chart. We have trying to tap that $44 level. We break over it and we use it as support. Then we come back down below it. We start tapping it again. We come back above it and use it as support. So there's a lot of up and down in this level. But once it gets broken one way or the other, we start to thin out as far as struggle between the two sides, and we get a nice clean move. The next chart I want to look at is Celgene. We've been in Celgene for a while. I finally closed out my full position. I took a couple hundred shares originally at 118 or so, and then I took another couple hundred over 120. I was trading this, watching the IBB, which is the sector ETF for biotechs. Trades on the NASDAQ, and it is breaking out to all-time highs when we got into this trade. Let's see, we opened this trade originally on February 19th also. So let me get my drawing tool out here. We'll take a look. We were long just about 119.60. Oops, excuse me, 118.63 was our first long entry. So we got long, right here, February 19th. We got long on this green candle on the break of this 20 moving average. You can see the line. Once we broke that, we took our long position and we doubled over 120, which was going to be a mental resistance area right about there. So we went through this trade with a 119.5 or so average. We gapped up. We ended up testing. We're coming up to the highs. We made a new high by about 50-60 cents on Celgene. It was on this day that I sold covered calls into this move. I do trade options, and a lot of times there's opportunity to capitalize on volatility. When you're deep in the money on a trade that you don't mind holding, you can increase your gains and protect your downside using covered calls. And that's what I did on this trade. Sold a couple covered calls for $600 on this day, and I covered them down here once we broke 120 to the downside for about $50. So I sold them for $3 each, bought them back for $50. It was a net gain of $250 per contract. So it was another $500 on the trade. I scaled out half of my 400 at about 124 when we shot up that day, and I kept my last 200 for that call play. And overall, that was another $2,100 winner over about 10 market days or so. Very happy with how those trades played out. One that I'm not so pleased with was FLIR. FLIR hit my swing long scanner. It was coming up off of earnings. They had a dividend, so they pulled in. They were pulling in for the past few days. Put in a nice bottom. We started seeing a little bit of a candle over candle action here. Very choppy though. We got long on FLIR on the 25th. 23, 24, 25. So we got long right here. Our initial long entry on FLIR was 31.20. No, excuse me, 32. It was 32.20 something. It was 32.24. We ended up doubling, anyways, the next day or 2 days later over 32.50. So when we broke 32.50, which is right here. So we were in this trade for a few days. We broke to the upside, doubled our size, and we tapped the $30 level. I was really looking for a break of this $30 level because I wanted to see a run up to 34. This is a little lighter volume stock than I usually trade, and the ATR is a little lighter as well. So I knew the trade was going to take a little bit longer to work for us. It started moving in our favor, and then the market started getting weak toward the end of last week. And the stock was, toward the end of this week, and the stock came down on us pretty hard. It gave up all of its gains and then some, all the way down, blasted through the moving averages. And so that's not the kind of weakness we generally want to see when we're trying to trade to the long side for a breakout. So bailed on the trade just above break even. It was a $90 winner, enough to cover commission and buy a sandwich. Not impressed with it. You can see this area of contention on the market map again, this particular yellow line right at the 32.20 area. There's a lot of price action, a lot of dojis, a lot of indecision between the candles at this level. Yeah, we got a nice pop up, but we got a nice sell off to the downside. So this trade's not really ready. I'm not really interested anymore. The catalyst is a little far away for it to be any kind of use for us in a breakout. And with the market weakness, I was happy to close that out and have it not be a loss. We took a few trades this week on Sprint. The catalyst for Sprint was the CEO buyback of $25 million worth of stock at $4.90. Who was accounted for this big pop-up here on February 27th. I waited for the long trigger over 529, the high of this range in here, to get long. We took a long. We got up to 540. The high of the gap is really at 545, but I wanted to see a break of that mental resistance level that we're going to run into for sure at 550 as we're starting to fill the gap. So I'm waiting until 550 breaks to double our size on it. Again, the S&P came in hard on us Friday, and Sprint gave up some of its ground, but overall it's still holding up. Our stop's $5 area right now, the whole dollar. So hopefully we can get a little traction with the market and be able to double. We're looking for a move to fill the gap from back here in November of 2014. We're looking for a move to $5.90, $6 area to start scaling out. eBay, very happy with eBay here. This is another one. I missed my morning entry on this trade. You can tell, let's see, we get some lines going here. We have this nice top on eBay, just under $60. The all-time high, or excuse me, the 52-week high, and it was $59.65. We wanted to see a break of that area to get long. I missed my entry, and instead I ended up buying it over the $60 break. So I'm long just over $60 on it. I think this has a lot of room to the upside. There's a lot of bullish investor sentiment and extreme high volume call action for call buyers in eBay right now. So a lot of the bullish catalysts that are in play here are factored in at a perfect technical area. So this is our breakout with a catalyst here. We're breaking out over this high at $60, and we have that catalyst. Also, there's some news on the Etsy IPO coming up, and the valuation for that company, which is sympathetically affecting eBay's price. Another trade we took this week was Best Buy. I was happy to see this one hold up in the market. We were long on this trade after its earnings and dividend announcement and share buyback. We had an average, let's see, what was our average on this? Was 39. It was in the 39.20s. Looking for a move over that $40 top right here. So again, another technical setup here, looking for the breakout, and we have the catalyst of the strong earnings, company financials, and the bullish sentiment from the company itself. So you always want to see some kind of catalyst when you're trading below a key resistance level. As you can see, it's been a long time since Best Buy has been at these levels back in 2013. So hopefully we'll see a move with a little healthier market conditions next week. It was really hard to sustain a move to the upside on this. As a result of that, we tapped 40.50, but we came in today along with everything else on the planet for the most part. So I'm not worried about this trade. It's strong, and for now we're going to write it out and see what we get on it next week. One last trade we took this week was on Zixi, ZIXI partnership announcement with Cisco is our catalyst. This $4.05 top right here that we've been testing on the daily for a few days. It failed. They had the announcement, so there's a catalyst, which meant there was enough strength to push it through that technical resistance level. And now, what we're seeing is kind of sideways. Well, it's only been 1 day since that move, but we're probably going to see some flagging while the market's doing its thing until we get a little bit less volatility and the buyers aren't afraid and can come back into this and push it up to 470 or so. That's our first target on this trade. So again, this is a perfect example of why the strength of a catalyst with a good technical setup is key to look for and identify in swing trades. These are probably the highest number of trades I take percentage wise, and I'm about 83-85% month to month wins on this type of setup here. So it doesn't really matter what the stock is as long as it has a legitimate catalyst and a good technical setup, because sometimes you can have a great technical setup under a resistance level, and we don't have any catalyst and it'll just fail that resistance level. Sometimes it'll go, sometimes it won't. We have a much higher probability of winning in the trade when we get these catalysts. So it's a perfect example of the types of setups we trade. We alert all our trades via email, text, and in the chat room. We have day traders, reversal traders, and swing trading. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. If you haven't tried us for the 7-day free trial, go ahead and check that out if you're interested. It's warriortrading.com. Thank you for your time today. Hope everybody has a good weekend. And the contact information is down below if anybody has any questions about anything. Thank you.